Welcome back to the Banking on Digital Growth podcast. I'm your host, Derik Kraus. I am joined today by Kelly Hellickson with EmpowerFi, and we have got a very exciting, very interesting episode for you. We are diving into what it looks like to build a website with AI. And I don't mean just bolting on AI to an existing system of building websites, an existing content management system, for instance, but rather if you start with AI as your starting point for how you're going to use AI to build your website from the ground up. And the possibilities are very exciting. This is a huge unlock for the agentic web and how website experiences are going to be built by financial institutions for both human users and AI users going into the future. Oh, I'm excited to dive in with you. Hey, Kelly, welcome to the show.
Hey, Derik, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. We haven't talked in a while, so it's going to be good to catch up.
Yeah. So you're with EmpowerFi. Tell us a bit about EmpowerFi so we've got some context here.
Yeah, thank you. So EmpowerFi is a company that I like to say was forged for the people by the people. So Hillary, my business partner, and I formed EmpowerFi. We co-founded it about 10 years ago, and we did so because honestly, we were tired of hearing and saying no. So we kind of jumped off a cliff and said, hey, you know what? I think there's space for us in this landscape to lower the barrier to entry for credit unions and, community FIs that need help with their marketing, but mostly need help with their MarTech stack. So, it's EmpowerFi, it's a strategy-infused, data-driven marketing firm. And we don't like the term agency because it carries kind of a bad connotation. But honestly, we're here to help our folks strategize and dust up their MarTech stack. Find efficiencies really is where we look to help. And we can start, with strategy, or we can start with marketing. So meet in the middle.
I love the MarTech focus. And so we've mostly talked about collaborating together on like Paraloom and GEO. Yeah, and absolutely. You've told me a little bit about some of the other tools and technology that you use. Yeah. But yeah, maybe can you speak just a tad more to when you talk about MarTech stack? Like, what does that look like? What do you guys get involved in?
Absolutely. Our philosophy is to empower the human behind the institution. And to do that, we can do that in several different ways, but we have to have advantages where technology is concerned, because the credit union landscape, the FI landscape unless you're a big box bank, it can be a little bit antiquated, in strategies, in terms of marketing efforts, and especially with technology. So we set out to dust that MarTech up, and that leads us to partners like yourself and partners like Faraday, who we partner with for our intelligent data and analytics platform, EmpowerFi, powered by Faraday. We work with you. We're super excited for the GEO, the generative engine optimization. We just want to help, honestly. It's just about providing a solution to the challenges that our folks face. And let me tell you, I just have always been taught in life that there's always a solution. You're always going to have challenges, my grandma say, but you're always going to be able to solve them. And, there's multiple ways in which to do that. So that's how we attack the challenges or the roadblocks that our marketers are facing. And sometimes that might mean that we need to, provide them with a source for geo and optimize their website. We might need to help them with their SEO. We might need to help them with their automations. A lot of what we do is, I like to say, building ecosystems, because it really is, if you think about it, it's an ecosystem, and there's multiple spokes, and there's multiple arms, there's multiple products, of course, and different tech that kind of MarTech stacks on top of each other. Of course, their core, the MCIF, but really the automations portion the intelligent data portion, the website portion. And that, again, is really what we like to focus on. No two credit unions, no two FIs are the same. And we just kind of get in there, roll up our sleeves and say, okay, well, how can we attack this? What tools do we need? And that tool can be a strategy, or it can be a partner, or it can be an automation system. But we really just kind of look at going in there and saying, okay, well, we can phase this out. This is our approach. This is what we think will work. We know will work, but we think you should do. And it could be 3 different options, but we really want to make sure that we adhere to our clients' timelines, their budgets, and just really their capabilities internally. You know what I mean? Like, everyone can have the best of the best or be proposed the best of the best, but is it realistic? Is it affordable? Is it timely? So that kind of gives you a little bit about the MarTech stack and just our avenues and ways into it.
Yeah, I like when you were talking about empowering the people in the organization, because I mean, something I'm seeing right now, and actually not long ago on LinkedIn, I saw a post from Jeffrey Kendall at Nimbus.
Okay.
He was observing something that I've also seen. AI is everywhere. AI is making a huge impact on everything, but yet there are still a lot of financial institutions that have AI locked down for their employees. Like, they're allowed to use Microsoft Copilot chat, but like, I've talked to some where they like, have you guys used ChatGPT? They're like, no, we're not allowed to use it. Like, what? There are like 1 billion people in the world that are using it on a weekly basis, and you guys don't even
I
have
know, but
access to
you've
it.
got, Derik, that's where I say we're antiquated as a landscape in general. And, there's firewalls, there's sensitive data inside the organization that, IT, IS, you can't blame them. I mean, they're just trying to protect their members, their bank customers. But it is kind of eye-opening, especially from someone in your shoes and your standpoint. And I mean, I think it was so rad, to use one of your terms earlier.
I know, I
When
said
we
rad, and you're like,
found you
what did
guys.
you say? What word did you say? I said rad. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Maybe
was
it's
like,
not.
wait, what?
Maybe that's
But
not cool anymore.
I said cool, and you said red, and you're like, oh yeah, but red is cool. So we're just some marketing tech geeks, and that's okay. Birds of a feather flock together. But to use your term rad, it was really rad when we connected as companies and came together to, again, just try to lower the barrier to entry and offer our folks this service of geo, at a timely and at a price point that hopefully we know they can afford. Like, start small. And
Yeah.
a lot of our credit unions, when you say, they're not allowed to use chat, well, that's what they have us for. So there are workarounds, and that's why companies like ours exist. And we're just here to help them with that and navigate it, right? Because, you mentioned AI. That's it's such a broad term, and everybody's throwing it around. Well, what does it mean? What does it even mean? And what does it mean specific to our landscape? Then further, how do you use it, when, and why?
Right. Yeah. Like,
So
how do you actually apply it, make use of it?
Yeah, and that's what we really try to go in and empower the human behind the institution, because it's a partnership, it's a relationship. It's just like, it's a two-way street. So we're just an extension of their team down the hall. We've got you guys on speed dial, so it's all intercombined and cyclical in terms of the process. And I think we've got a pretty rad step forward going on that too. But I do want to capitalize on a couple things. We were talking, and I said, you and I seem to talk and talk and talk. Like, I'll look at the clock and be like, oh my God, Derik, we've been talking for 90 minutes. What the heck? We should have been recording that.
I know. Yeah. So we were, for everyone's context, we were planning to record a podcast episode, but first we were just meeting to catch up, and I was like, how's it going, Kelly? And you were telling me what you were doing, and you're like, what's going on with you? And I said, I'm just super stoked about everything that's going on with AI. And I don't know, maybe people are tired of hearing about it, but I'm not. I could talk about it all day.
No, it was
And
actually super cute. Like, we get on, and I swear, like, looking back, you were like, now that I think about it, you were like, "Hey, how's it going?" Because you're always so chill. And I'm like, "Really good." And then I could just see you, and you're like, "Oh man, I'm super pumped." And so when you started showing me what you were super pumped about, that's when I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, maybe we should record because I think it is something to be super pumped about." So talk about what you guys are doing. And I mean, do you even want to let that cat out of the bag, or talking about getting rid of WordPress and building your own website based off
ooh,
what?
yeah, I don't know if I want to say getting rid of WordPress at this point. Uh, More like I think the future of how websites are going to be built is going to be different from how they've been built in the past, and I think that could mean at some point in the future, maybe even in the near future, that you don't use a CMS like a WordPress or something similar like that. I mean, as it stands today, we have like all of our clients are on WordPress, so I don't want anyone listening to
Predominantly,
this think
yeah.
that we're going to stop supporting WordPress, but we just got to be realistic about what the future is and what it holds and what it means. And so what yeah, I guess you could say a secret project we've been working on that I'll share about. I wasn't when we were planning to record a podcast. I wasn't planning for us to talk about this,
I,
but I'm jazzed about it. Let's
yeah,
do it.
for sure. I don't even remember what we were planning to discuss, but I mean, this is timely and relevant, so why the heck not, right?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. So basically, because I'm working with AI on a daily basis, and like uh, I use AI so much, in fact, uh, that my wife refers to ChatGPT as my girlfriend.
Oh
Um,
boy.
and,
That actually
and,
puts it into perspective because my husband's girlfriend is golf. So that, thank you for that. Thank you.
yeah, and at the end of last year, ChatGPT, they had like everyone got a year-end summary that is like here's what you talked with ChatGPT about this year, and it like tells you where you sit percentile wise for how much you use it. And I knew that I used ChatGPT a lot, but I didn't know until then. They said that I was in the top 1% of all ChatGPT users like worldwide.
In the world. Come on, Derek.
Yeah. So what I'm saying when I say I use AI a lot, it's like a lot, a lot.
I,
Um,
I marvel at that because honestly, you're always so laid back, but you always have something going and you're always inventing and creating. And then I'm like, he has 5 kids and there's only 24 hours in the day. So, wow. I mean, talk about being
uh,
efficient at maximizing your time. I mean, on a daily basis, what do you think? Would you say you use AI? How many hours?
oh, I don't know, but it kind of depends on the day. It ebbs and flows because
Yeah,
sometimes I'll have a lot of meetings.
yeah,
Uh, but when I try to reserve time in my week for it's like thinking and building and work time that doesn't have meetings because I find
yeah,
that while I love having like thought provoking conversations and there are lots of meetings that are important. If you really want to get some like serious work done, you got to have a block of time. And
yeah.
these days, when I have a block of time and I need to work on something, more often than not, I'm working with AI on that thing. And so when we've built websites for financial institutions for the last 11 years, and we've done that on WordPress, and uh, I just like my experience building. And okay, so there's that. So stick a pin in that, and then we were talking about GEO and Paraloom, and I've always been interested in technology ever since I was a kid.
Sure.
Uh, and I've been interested in software and coding, but honestly, anytime I would get really deep into it pre AI, I'd be like, man, this is so tedious. Like I have this vision of what I want to accomplish, but in order to accomplish that, I've got to go down all these rabbit holes. So I always ended up leaning more toward being involved in the strategy of what we were going to build, and then not actually being the one to build it. But
Gotcha.
what AI has unlocked for me is now I can stay at the strategic level and like semi-technical level and have AI do coding for me, and I'm just involved in what it's doing and make sure I get the outcome that I want. And so with that, I started getting involved in software development for the Paraloom app. And like the first big thing I did, and you guys at EmpowerFi were involved in this a bit. I built an AI bot traffic feature into Paraloom, so you can track how often AI bots are visiting your website, which meant like building a WordPress plugin, building a Cloudflare integration, and building the whole system for all of that. And I that was so much fun. So like I've had that experience and how powerful AI can be for building things, and I've used AI to build like website experiences and web interfaces. And then I go over to like WordPress, and like we've got a great system set up in place there, and we've tried to bring AI into it, but there's this fundamental challenge where if you build a system first that's meant to be used by humans, and like you create some rigidity there because you need it in order to make the system work well for humans and not be overly complicated.
Sure.
But then it's like you can't just inject AI into it. Well, you can, but the problem is you shackle the AI from being able to really do what it can do. And so I stepped back, like basically a week ago. I was like, okay, what does it look like if you just go totally AI native with building a website? Like, don't worry about having a CMS. AI is so good at coding. So you're just going to have AI write everything in code. And you just communicate with the AI about what you're going to build. It builds it in code, and then you just take those static code files and put them on a server to host them. And there is no CMS, or in effect, AI is your CMS.
I was gonna say, yeah, okay, so that's equivalent too. Okay. So
yeah,
a week ago.
a week ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nuts. Earlier we were talking and you were jazzed and you were explaining it and saying, what did you say? I wrote it down. I've been working on this for a few, and my brain is like, oh, he's gonna say months. And you say days now. Like
Yeah.
that's the part that's rad, because companies like yours are so great as partners for EmpowerFi, because you're helping us help our folks, help the landscape itself. And again, finding these new products and new technology and new ways of doing things for us to be able to honestly, Derik, provide that type of tech and service to the credit unions, to the FIs, to the community banks. I mean, that's what they need, right? Like lowering the barrier to entry is everything is what we're doing here. And I think that's just the beautiful part, because I think that they deserve it. I know they deserve it, and they need it, right? Because again, if you go back to the MarTech stack, and if it's kind of antiquated, um, It is antiquated. I'm sorry, folks, but it is antiquated. And we know that, but that's why we're trying to help. You know what I mean? We know the frustrations they face. A product like this, a system like this, even a processes like this, it's exciting. I'm glad for our folks because big box banks, right? I mean, they've had this technology or they have the money, they have the means, right, behind the motive to
Mm-hmm.
to enable their bank customers. And so for us to have it for our clients, our credit union folks, I think it's going to be really, really fun to see it implement, to see it take hold, take root, and kind of just, sky's
Yeah.
the limit with it. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel? Like, do you, when you probably don't, like when you are creating, you're not thinking that far back, or are you? Or like, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, you mean like thinking about like broader impact
Yeah,
on
broader
like for
impact and
a
like inception, right? Like you're talking about infusing a a process or a whole system with a different type of way of doing things, and even in
yeah,
essence like a different product, a different tool, right? So when you
yeah.
do those things and you are in your zone of genius and creating, do you think about that, or is it just more so you create and then we talk about how to apply it?
Um, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm kind of I'm an analyzer. I'm a thinker. Sometimes I overanalyze, but I
Me too.
so yeah, when I'm usually how it works for me is like I'll encounter a new technology or a new way of doing something that like opens my mind to the possibilities, and then immediately my mind starts thinking about wow, like the impact that's going to have on either this part of business or the industry or how a
Absolutely.
financial institution does this. Yeah, so just like diving into how do you build a website where you unshackle the AI, where AI essentially becomes your content management system. I've been blown away, honestly. So for some context here, this isn't the first time that this has crossed our minds. We've been thinking about this general concept for years, like ever since AI really exploded onto the scene with
Yeah.
ChatGPT 5. But initially, like we've tried for years to get AI to generate really good like web pages and web components. And in the past, it like initially it just wasn't capable of making good stuff. And then it got better to the point where we integrated some AI features into the Metrify app so that it was able to generate it couldn't generate a whole page, but it could generate individual blocks or sections that we would then have
Okay.
it stack those on top of each other. Uh, but now we have reached the point where AI is so good at coding and even design that
Okay.
it can generate entire web pages and keep in context like all the other pages that it's making, and like think about the whole website system that it's creating. And it's honest, like it's mind blowing because I'll pull up this prototype. Uh, Let me just do a
Okay.
screen
Yeah.
share here, and then I'll explain a bit about it. You can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So this is I've been chatting with the folks over at American Partners Federal Credit Union, and I've been talking with them about their website. So shout out to Ashley and Sonia if you're listening. But I was talking with them about a new website, and then meanwhile, I was like, you know what? I'm going to build them a full prototype of what like I needed a test subject, right? And so
All right. Well, shout
APFCU
out to
got,
Ashley and Sonia for being the winners that get to reap the
yeah,
benefits, because this is pretty cool.
yeah. So this prototype that we're looking at right now was made completely by AI. Um, Now I say that with like there was a lot of because I've been working on websites for 11 years, like I know the processes that you need to go through in order to like get the output that you want.
Sure.
And there was a lot of underlying data that was fed into it. So like
Okay.
we've run about 140 A/B tests on financial institution websites that tells you how you should design a site because AI has the capability to make a site, but it doesn't have the data to know how it should make it or how it should design it, like what should exist there. So I'm putting that out there to say like anyone could go to AI and I think you get some pretty amazing outputs from a visual perspective,
Hmm.
but you still have to be thoughtful about how you're doing it. But nonetheless, within a few hours of work using some AI tools, and I'll show you what I actually use for this, but this is a fully functional website prototype where it's fully responsive. It like the navigation works. You know, I can switch over to a few different
Yeah,
pages that I made. It's beautiful. Uh,
it is.
there's an underlying design system for their
Mhm.
brand that the AI helped me develop here. Like there's a placeholder here for an online banking login. And then I yeah, so I'll show some more, including like interactive components that I was showing you before we clicked
Yeah,
record
that was cool.
that blow my mind. But I'm curious to hear your initial thoughts just seeing this.
Well, I mean, I don't know when we met Hillary. Shout out to Hillary Reed. She introduced us, our companies, really, and I remember the first time we met, and talking about partnering on Paraloom and Geo, and I couldn't even keep up with like what you guys were talking about. So, but now I'm an expert. No, just kidding. But now I can. So I feel really just kind of like gratitude towards you and Harmon, because you guys are, thought leaders in the space, and everything that you do, I feel like even if you're a layman and you don't know much about tech, the way that you present it and articulate it to your audiences, to your clients, to your partners is really, really, I guess, where the rubber meets the road for me, in that I can follow along with what it is you're doing. But when you say, like, what is your thought on this? It, to me, or someone who doesn't understand what goes on behind the scenes, no, you would never know. And I think that right there,
Sure.
what my point is that that's the beauty of this. Their brand is gorgeous, and when you first debuted it, I didn't know if it was not make believe, but make believe. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if it actually worked. And so to understand what goes on behind the scenes, and that it is, um, you know, taking the place of the CMS
Mm,
system, I mean, your mind just kind of races everywhere in terms of, I'm thinking of a really good client of mine who's struggling with their website. Like for me, I think it's awesome because my job is to empower that human at whatever institution it is that we're partnered with, because they need the help, they deserve the help. And something like this could be just a total game changer for small shops and large
completely.
shops. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I
Completely.
just think it's fascinating. So I want to know more.
Yeah. Well, why don't I show you how this works?
Okay.
Uh, so let me start with Okay. We start this so Claude like a week and a half ago. So this is all like happening so quickly, so fast. They released this new tool called Claude Design,
Okay.
and it basically writes stuff in code, but it's a design tool. It's an AI first, AI native version of something like Sketch or Illustrator or Figma. Pick your design tool. This is Claude's version, and
Okay.
it's incredible. And let's do this. Should we generate a new page on the fly and
Yeah.
see if we can get it deployed onto the website within the time of this episode?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
All
Are
right,
we
let's do
going
it.
with a made up company? Are we like making a company together, like Newco or something like that?
Let's just do it on this
Okay.
APFCU site because I've already got it set up here.
Sounds good.
So, okay, I'm going to create a new chat here, and I have I've already worked with it on a page design process, which I have summarized as just PDP, page design process, and then I'm going to give it a particular page that we want to work on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Go checking. Why not?
I already built the checking one.
Oh, okay.
We could do youth checking.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just try to tie it to relevancy
Yeah,
and timeliness in the space. And everybody in the club is looking for deposits and, leading with checking. And it's all about
yeah,
acquisition right now. Yeah.
yeah. So this is the prototype of the checking page, and then over here, a little slightly different, but this is like the live version on the prototype. But we could do youth checking.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say, let's go back here to our. Give me just a sec. Here we
No, you're
go.
fine.
Yeah, so this is the content inventory of all the pages that need to be built out here.
Okay.
Which by the way, Claude Design also built this for me on the fly, which is rad.
Wow.
As like a management tool. It's nuts.
That's
So
awesome.
let's do. I'm going to say PDP. That's page process, page design process, youth checking, and then I'm going to say I've attached a markdown file with insights from our A/B test for checking accounts.
Okay.
And by the way, what I just did there, voice to text is the way to work with AI.
Wow. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
see. I'm just pulling up a file here that I can share with it. So, like I mentioned earlier, we've run like 140
Yeah.
A/B tests. Each of those is a data point. I then took 16 of those that were run specifically on checking account pages that tell
Okay.
us what caused higher conversion or lower conversion. So it gives me the winning and losing patterns from that. And so, it knows I want to make a youth checking account. I gave it that data, and now it's got some questions for me about this youth checking page.
So, one TO, just real quick. You just
Yeah.
said something about your 80 splits, and you ran 16 on checking itself and specific to conversions.
Yep.
For me, like my brain, I need to know on this credit union's site, like for real behind the scenes, or what do you mean? Like you gave it instructions to build a fake conversion, or talk about that?
Yeah. Let me see if I've got an
Simulated
example
conversion.
real quick that I can pull up of an A/B test.
I mean, obviously I know what A/B testing is, but to convert, is it simulated or not?
Here's an example of you can still see this on my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So a totally different product, but this is test 39 that we ran with a credit union called Centricity. Shout out to Kelsey and Centricity. You guys are awesome. This was an auto loan page test. So without going too deep into it, basically, we have an analytics system that tells us how well a website is getting people to sign up for loans and accounts. You set up conversion funnels. You benchmark those funnels against about 40 other credit unions and banks that are also in this same system on MetroFi, and it tells you, all right, your auto loan page is converting below average, and if you can bring up the average, you're going to loan out $10 million more in auto loans this year.
Okay.
Or what, I'm making up numbers right now, but those are realistic types of numbers that we see. So use that first to figure out where are we leaking conversions? Where is our website failing to get people to actually sign up for our loans and accounts? And then that tells you where to focus your efforts. Okay. And then when you want to improve a conversion rate, you need to figure out, well, how do I actually get more people to sign up? And one of the best tools in the tool belt, arguably the best, is A/B testing, because it lets you take an original version of a page and then create a new version, and you pit them head to head against each other to see which one actually causes more conversions. So they run at the same time on the website, and then you measure which one gets more people to sign up. So quick example, in this case, we've got the control version A. So this is the original version of the page that's running on the site. We actually, I'll pull this up. We had run a heat map on this page to understand how people are actually using it. Like what are people using on this page and what are they not? And we saw that the number one thing people are interacting with is rates, but the rates were hidden behind a tab. So that's not good. And
no
then, yeah. And then look at all this heat on the calculator. Ooh. Tons of interaction on the calculator, but it's pretty far down on the page and it's not next to rates. And you usually need a rate in order to make a calculation. And so we looked at those two things and said, well, we bet if we made it easier for people to see rates and we put the calculator right next to it, we would get more people to convert just by creating a better user experience for them. And so that's what led to version B. So you can see that those tabs are gone. The rates are right here. The calculator's right next to the rates. And so then when we ran the test, we found that A got about 14.5% of people to start an application, and B got almost 22% of people to start an application. So that's a 50% increase in people starting applications because of this change in the user experience.
Super cool, right? Like, okay, so to dumb it down, identify a hole, in a product, right? Create a situation where you want to see what the original page or the original content is procuring, and then take a look at that, take a look at the results in terms of where's the heat, where's the action. And then strategically just align a strategic plan to recalibrate the page itself with a new version, a better version, or so we think. And then once that's set, you run them in tandem, and obviously I'm assuming for a certain amount of time. And then you pull the reports and take a look and which one does better. So therefore, you find the hole, you run the A/B split, and then you find a solution, you plug the hole.
You got it. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And so when I was saying we've run 140 of these,
Gotcha.
140 A/B tests like this, and each one of them teaches us something about the ideal way to build a user experience. So like this one teaches us, don't hide rates behind a tab, make rates prominent, put the calculator right next to the rates.
Right. So cool.
So, and we've, you know, if you get a winning test like that once, you're like, okay, that worked. Let's test it again. You test that same concept, and then over time you learn proven patterns for things that work every single time or almost every time versus things that don't work. You learn things that lower your conversion rate as well. And so when going back to
thank you for that, Derik.
Yeah, no, that's I'm glad you asked. That's good context, because so when I come over here and I say I want you to design a youth checking page, here are 16 A/B tests that teach about, and I don't know why this says task force, but I meant to say here are 16 A/B tests that tell you the best way to design a youth checking page. And so it's now, rather than just making up some sort of page, it's got some data to go off of. So it asked me some questions. I didn't answer them in time, so it just said, I'm just gonna I'll proceed with sensible defaults, and we could always come back and regenerate later, because
that's awesome, because if you're using chat and you don't answer the question, it times out.
yeah, and it just does it. So it may take a few more minutes, so we'll come back to it.
Okay.
But while it's working on that, like what I've got out of this is just incredible. I think one of my favorite pages so far. Let's start from the home page. And by the way, these are 4 different variations for the home page that it just made, like, not instantly, but within a few minutes. And then I was able to say, I like the hero from version 1. Let's use that. But I like the rest of the body from version 2. So just combine those for me into version 4, and we're going to use that.
Why don't you just go ahead and combine those for me?
Yeah, that was it, awesome. And it did it. But let's go to, let's see, I think it linked up. There we go. So yesterday I fed it data from AB. Oh, okay. Our youth checking page is done.
Their first, I guess. Oh my God, that's awesome.
We'll come back to what I was.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah. Yep. So we've got their first checking account, the one you can actually trust them with.
That's
a real
cool.
Checking account for teens, open jointly with a parent. They get a debit card and an app. You get visibility alerts and instant transfer button. Perfect. Even the text content is great.
Yeah, and I mean, it's speaking my language. It's actually speaking to me. We just did this with the boys. I mean,
yeah.
I guess it was a year ago. That's all they wanted for their 14th birthday was a debit card. And at our credit union, at our credit union, Summit Credit Union, cool. Madison, Wisconsin, shout out. You had to be 14. So, I mean, that's crazy. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's got, key features here. It's got a placeholder here for, here we go. You just need to put in your son's name.
Perfect.
15th birthday.
Well, Jake and Carter, they're twins, so they'd have to arm wrestle for it. So we'll stick with Hannah, because nobody wants to see that.
Then how to open it, FAQ section, and
incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. And I'm going to ask it to along with that, it will generate a design rationale that explains why it made all of the decisions that it made in building that page.
Oh, that's right. We did discuss that before we hopped over here too. That's the part that's just for me like monumental, right? Because that's such a time saver. Like you're gonna build something this incredible and forward thinking and progressive for any landscape, but for ours especially. The fact that it just kind of aligns all the dominoes because marketers in our world, I'm just a marketer. I'm just a worker bee, right? So you got to have the strategy in place. You then got to write the content. You got to grab some images. You got to make it beautiful. You have to put it all together with a little bow on it. It has to be engaging, timely, relevant. It has to have a hook. And so for this to do all of that, and you said you've been at this for a couple days, maybe a week
Yeah.
now, like that's just kind of blows my mind, to be honest.
Yeah. Like a few days where I'm not even working on it full time. It's just like
Yeah.
when I could squeeze in the time to work on it. So, and yeah, the rationale I love because it's one thing to just have AI go and build a page. It's another thing to be able to understand that there was a lot of data and thought that went into it, which then ultimately you're going to put to the test with real people and measure the impact. And then you can always go back to the rationale and say, well, this is the rationale for why we built it this way, but I have a different hypothesis about how this should be built. And so now I'm going to put to the test this underlying assumption in the rationale. I'm going to build something new and test that new version in an A/B test.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, AI can make that new version for me on the fly whenever I want. Like if you want to change a section of this, you just tell AI the change that you want, and it's going to make it for you within a few minutes.
That's fantastic. I mean, it's beautiful too. That's the part that that the outcome is not something
I know, right?
that looks cobbled together, that looks like AI built it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and part of that is before even building any of these pages, you establish with the AI an underlying design system for the brand, like logo, colors, fonts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the brand's got to be there. I mean, the brand's got to be beautiful first, right? And that's brand awareness. Gosh, we've been talking about that since we were born, I feel like. And I feel like now more so than ever, leadership is really on board with us marketers and behind us, supports us on getting that brand dusted up and perfect, working for you as an ambassador, top down, down up. So that's great.
And here's what else is crazy about that. So if I pull up their current website, they've got underlying pieces there for a brand, but like one of the reasons that APFCU is even thinking about a new website is they feel like the website does not do a good job at representing their brand. And so I was able to just feed brand basics into Claude Design, and it created a new like modern brand system for them, again, within like 5 minutes, just based on like a little bit of initial data and some logo files that I pulled from the internet for them.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
It is. So what do you think? So, I mean, we could talk about this for hours or another hour at least, like in terms of implementation, right? Like if you build it, they will come. So we have to kind of like, you obviously will want to perfect it, but maybe you haven't even thought about like when this type of system or product would be ready to offer to our credit unions and our community FIs?
That's a good question. I mean, what I'm actively working on is figuring out the whole system for this and how we package it all together. And like also doing it in a way that, like I was saying earlier, we have like all of our clients right now are running on WordPress. And so we need to continue to support them in that, while also like we need to support and maintain what's there while also embracing what the future looks like.
Evolving.
So, but big picture, I think what really needs to happen is this whole system, along with everything we've built in Paraloom for GEO and everything we've built in the Metrify app for analytics and conversion rate optimization, and even everything we've built for another tool called RateStream, which is a rate management tool. I can imagine these all getting put together in one coherent agentic website system or agentic website platform where AI is at the heart of it. It's AI native. AI helps you manage and run the whole thing. So that's that's a brand new concept for us. Like with just in the last few days. So I gotta show you now, because what's awesome is, so this is made in Claude Design, right? This new youth checking page. But it's not live on a website at this point. So this is over here. This is an actual, like, this is a website URL you can share with anyone, and anyone in the world can access this and use it on any device. And that's not what Claude Design is. Claude Design is a design tool that's AI built. It is like mostly code that it's working in, but the next step is you hit share, hand off to Claude Code, copy a command, and then I'm going to come over here to Claude Code, paste that in, and it should, within a few minutes, have this page up and running on the website, which is nuts.
Pretty sweet. Like, yeah, my brain, I'm still trying to process, and I process real fast. So this is awesome. I mean, I could talk about credit union FI marketing all day, all night. It's, it's not a career. It's just a passion. It's just a way of life.
Yeah. I mean, anything that you want to share before we wrap?
No, I honestly just, I think all of us that are true FI marketers, this is the type of stuff that gives us hope. And this is the type of stuff that we take to conferences and come back from conferences with, content-wise, idea-wise. So I think we're a very giving group. I know that we are. So, I mean, share and share alike. I mean, there's only great things. This can only do great things for us in the future. So, bringing it to market is something that I feel like we're responsible in doing. It's something that we have to do. So,
yeah. And I feel like you were talking about technology being an equalizer. I mean, the impact here is that AI is going to make it, and I'm just talking about from the website perspective right now, because I have a lot of domain expertise there. This is going to make it 10 times faster to build a top tier level website. It's going so 10 times faster, 10 times cheaper at higher quality that can be modified like on the fly at any point that you want. It is going to be an equalizer in helping even small credit unions to be able to build experiences they would have never imagined being able to build before.
Oh, I mean, that goes without saying. But in my mind, again, lowering the barrier to entry and being able to bring it to a small shop, a large shop, a medium shop, any shop, you're right. This is you don't have to break the piggy bank to have something beautiful finally for us.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's just cherry on top, and to be a part of that is fascinating. It's great because we can shout it to the rooftops, and that's, again, I feel like we have a responsibility to do so.
Oh, hold on. I think it's about to show us the preview of this this page it made. Okay. Here it is. This is an actual coded up page now.
Wow.
And then the last thing is going to be it's doing a little bit of evaluation. So it's been working for, I don't know, like 5 minutes now, just going to town. Well, okay, it might be a little bit longer for it to finish this deal, so we can wrap. But I'll
It's cool.
I'll end up the.
Ooh,
I'll record
that's beautiful.
I'll record at the end here, actually getting this published live onto that prototype site. So,
okay.
Yeah, thanks for the awesome conversation. It's been
Oh,
fun.
absolutely. And now I'm hooked. And now I'm like, all right, what should we talk about next? So we'll have to plan that, and hopefully our audience gains some insights here, and they can see how passionate we are about it. And if you need help, call on us, right? If I can't answer it, which if it's tech, I probably can, I'll send you Derik's way. But if you want something done, give it to a busy woman. Let's end with that.
There we go.
All right, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yep. Bye.
All right. To wrap this up, I want to show you what it looks like to actually get this page deployed out onto that prototype website. So go ahead and deploy this page to the prototype website. Going to give that task to Claude Code. This prototype site has been deployed on something called Vercel, which is a modern architecture for deploying web apps and websites. And I'm used to hosting being like this big gnarly thing. It was so easy to connect Vercel and have it push up to this website. I was pretty amazed. And so it's there we go. Project is linked to Vercel, and it's doing a deploy right now. Needed my permission. Okay, there we go. Deployed live. So now I'm going to do a refresh over here. I'm on the regular checking account page. If it all went well, I should be able to navigate to youth checking. No, let's see. Oh, I might have to tell it needs to hook it up to the navigation. You need to link to it in the navigation. But in the meantime, I should be able to just copy this link that it gave me, and we can go directly to it. There we go. The page is up. It just wasn't linked yet in the nav, so we'll have it do that. But you've now seen the whole process of starting in Claude Design and feeding it the data that it needs to build a page, see the page come together over there, hand it off to Claude Code. It actually builds the page in in code and then deploys it to the website. And it's fully responsive, looks beautiful. And this is the power of what we're talking about is possible now with going AI native with websites. So lots of implications there, lots to figure out still, but just excited to share with you what we're working on and where things are going technology wise with the agentic web. Thanks for listening in.